Monday School is what Wally learned at church in 3 minutes or less. Think of it as like the Twitter version of church.
So we looked at the parable Jesus told of two men who went to pray. One was a religious man, the Pharisee, and the other was a tax collector. And tax collectors were hated by the Jews because they weren't paid a salary by the Romans. I didn't know this, but they were allowed to overcharge their fellow Jews, and that's how they made money. And so,
how do they get away with that? That's crazy.
I don't even like our own IRS, much less that nonsense, So Jesus was doing this to make a point about problematic piety, because the religious man gave thanks in his prayer, but he gave thanks to God for not being like the bad people in the world around him. Like, that's pretty a baller move. He's like the robbers, the evildoers, the adulterers. He literally names those by name, and then he names the tax collector. He's like, and not like that person over there. And so he lists all the things that he does for God, to like tithing. But then the tax collector cried out to God to have mercy on him because he was a sinner. So then Jesus says that it was the tax collector who went home justified before God. This would have been mind-blowing for all the religious people today. They're like, wait, he did none of the things you're supposed to do, and he's not outwardly religious, and that was Jesus's whole point. And they saw this man as the scourge of the earth, but Jesus concluded by saying, everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who is humbled will be exalted. And it's crazy to think of this, but it happened to the disciples too. We take pride in our faith. Sometimes we look at broken people, addicts, homeless, adulterers, Democrats, Republicans, LGBTQ, the list goes on and on of people that we are different from, and we almost set a ranking order of who is better and worse in God's eyes, and the truth is we're all the same, and God warns all throughout the Bible about being judgmental. I mean, it's in like so many different chapters, and so it's easy to judge people who do not live like we live, or at least like we live on the outside, but we're no better than anybody else. The Bible says, for the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And I thought about this too. What if the converse was true? What if like, for the same way you love others, you will be loved? And like, maybe if we're leading with that, then people won't hate us just because we identify with Christ. That actually, if we lead with love, that's what we'll be known for. And that is what was so powerful about Jesus, is that people who are nothing like him liked him because he chose to live a life that was characterized by truth, but love as well. So,
mic drop.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good one, huh? I wish I'd come up with all that, but it's the pastor. So there you go. That's your Monday School for today.